got Blender open, and as I showed you earlier, your last open file is right here on the splash screen, so just click that. And as I promised, we're next going to get on to doing the tentacles and the arms. That'll, if we get far enough along to finish that, we'll be done with the torso, and then we can move on to the other objects. So I'm going to go from object mode to edit mode. But if you remember, I showed you a keyboard shortcut where you can just hit the tab key as long as you have the object selected. That has that yellow-orange highlight around it, so it is selected. Hit tab, and now we see the square view. Now what I'm going to do to allow us to nicely extrude out the arms and the tentacles is I'm going to subdivide this sphere. So a couple things about subdividing. Let me hit select all. If I was to subdivide the entire object, it's going to create divisions on every face. Right now it's 2 by default. And as I showed you earlier, if you come down here to the lower left, you can increase the amount of subdivisions just by toggling that. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to exit and then hit Command Z to undo that. What I want to do instead is I just want to subdivide the vertical edges of the box so that we basically get his torso divided into 3 zones. One will be, bottom one will be for the tentacles, middle of course will be his torso, and the top will be for his shoulder, for his arms. So we come down here to the little toolbar. Right now it's on face selection. We want to go to this one, which is edge selection. And then you hit the A key to deselect everything. Then we want to come down, and this little grid area icon right there, remember, kind of gives us what's called an X-ray view of all the vertices and edges. So you can see it best up here where the object becomes like transparent. You can see the background through it. And if you turn it off, you can't see that stuff. The object is solid. And the reason I want to do it this way is so that when I select, I'm making sure I'm selecting all 4 edges here. So I'm going to go to the B key to select the border select tool, drag it across here, and you can see it's selected all 4. Now I want to just subdivide, so I come over here to the tools and find subdivide, click on it, and now I want to actually add 2 subdivisions because I don't want it divided in half. I wanted it divided in thirds. There we go. So now we got a top part that will be used to make the arms, bottom part that will be used to make the tentacles. So I'm going to hit return to accept that, and then I'm going to hit A to deselect everything. Now the next thing I want to do is let's look at your background sketch here. Well, I don't have yours yet, but I have my rough background sketch for the side view. So I'm going to bring up this tool panel over here, the navigation tool panel, so I hit N, bring that up. This lets me access the background image. And then remember, I can choose if that image renders in front of or in back of the model, and right now I want to make it in front so I can talk this through. So you notice the way I sketched the figure, and hopefully it's the way you're sketching the figure, which, gosh, I guess I could just look at our little chat we were having and see what you showed me. So let me do that really quick. There we go. And oh, you have the shoulders a little further forward than I do. That's interesting. I like it. Trying to think of the best way to handle that. There's a couple options right now. So on the side view here, we could divide it in half and bring the shoulder out from the back, or we could divide it into thirds and bring the arm out from the center point, or we could just try and do it from this solid piece right here. So I'm thinking this through a bit, and I think what we first need to do before I make that decision is we need to taper the shape of this, what's basically now Loshin's shape, into more the shape of the side view of his torso. I'm looking at yours too, so you've sketched it as kind of flipped from the way I sketched it, so you kind of have it coming straight up in the chest area and then sloping back down to like a butt area, which is how I'm going to model this. So right now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to vertex select mode right there. And then I'm going to do B for bounding box select and just select those vertices right there. And then I'm going to click G, drag this in. See, we got it deforming the basic shape already. You hit A to deselect that, B to get the next set of vertices here at that kind of midpoint. Hit the G key to grab it. And I think I'm going to bring it down like that. Again, I'm going to refer back to your sketch. And this could probably come up a bit based on your sketch. You've got that stuff kind of high. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to do the same. Hit A to deselect, B to the bounding, and then this is the butt area. So hit G to grab this up. And looking back at your sketch, I am going to bring that guy up even further, about like so. And then I'm actually maybe going to hit A. I'm going to do a B in here again, and I'm going to look at moving this guy down a little bit because you have some cool action going on here where he's got kind of a bubble butt action happening. So I'm going to do A to deselect, B to select again, pull this guy up, and then I'm going to do A to deselect, B to select these lower vertices, pull them out a little bit. Cool. I think that's kind of close to your sketch for now. I'm going to look at the front of yours a little bit now. So we do have a little bit of a taper happening towards the top of his torso. So I'm going to do a B select and grab both these vertices here. Bring them in just a little bit, like so. Hit A, do another B to get the very topmost vertices. And I'll bring that in about like that. So for now, I'm going to come back to this right image, and I want to have it rendered behind the model again. Good deal. Then I'm going to take a look at the front view. So we're going to go up here to front, right here. Going to have that render in front, so we can now focus on the shape of his shoulders here. So I'm going to do a B select. Grab those vertices and then do G, start to bring them in. Pretty good alignment with your drawing there. A again, then B on this side, and G to bring it in. I'm going to go for that armpit area you have going on there. Do an A to deselect, B to select these top guys, and bring them down and out a little bit to try and start suggesting that shoulder where we're going to pull stuff out. And I think I'll do the same over here because I'm liking the way that's looking. So I did A, B, now a G, pull that out a little bit, and then do an A to deselect. Now I'm going to save, and I'm going to save this recording for the moment to make sure we're good.